I'm Ron West with Clemson football. I've had the opportunity to coach college football 25 years in Division 1A now. And what we're fixing to review is the shotgun trap scheme that we've run at Clemson now for the last 6 years, and also we ran at Tulane for 2 years. So we've done this now in the past 8 years. Basically, these trap schemes are schemes that have been around for a long time. We just have found a way to run these schemes out of the shotgun with the F-back and also with the quarterback. All right, the shotgun trap scheme, the philosophy of the shotgun trap scheme. We use the trap scheme to slow down the defensive front. And again, when the defensive structure defends the pass, then we know the trap is there. So basically, if we know that the front is really up the field, rushing hard, they're widening their linebacker because we're in trips to one side, then we're going to basically trap the A-gap, and that's why we use it. And we'll look at cut-ups later on, and you'll see why it's so good. We stay with the same concept of our base offense, angles and numbers to attack the defense. We're going to start off with the rules. Here's our veer trap scheme, shotgun trap scheme versus an even and a veer trap. Now, the rules are real simple. Play side tackle, apex to first backer in the box. Play side guard, apex to first backer, backside, A-gap. Center, backside, A-gap, he's blocking back. Guard, trap pull. First man off the hip of the guard in the B-gap. And backside tackle has a B-gap pick rule. Let me just draw this up for you so you can see. Now we're in Rio formation. We have an even structure defense. For us to have an even structure defense, one of the guards have to be covered by a down lineman. A lot of times in this formation, what we'll see is if they're playing a two-shell type principle, they'll have to widen their sandbacker for trips. The Mike widens to stack behind the defensive tackle. He removes himself out of the A-gap. A lot of people call this 6 in the box. We kind of call this, when it comes to the trap scheme, we call this 5.5. Because if the Mike removes himself to here, then we feel like we have a great opportunity to get the trap because the A-gap's open. If we have a two-eye weak side or an A-gap player there, a gap player, then we want to run, we feel like we can run the veer trap. And the veer trap, there's a couple things we look at. If the three's wide and the Mike's removed, then we feel like we can run the veer trap. And if the three's wide and for some reason this guy gets tighter, then we'll do something else. And I'll get in that in a little bit. The biggest thing, the three's wide, so we feel like this linebacker's probably fast flow to that gap, and they may be bringing this secondary guy down or something like that to be able to defend these gaps. So if we run the veer trap, then we're here at this angle. Right now we're pinning the linebacker. We're blocking back with the center when we shotgun snap the ball. The guard is opening with a drop step with his right foot, next step into the line, and he's on a track to trap that three technique right there, outside hip of the guard. This tackle is on an apex right through the hip of that tackle to the inside half of that linebacker, inside knee. We're trying to get him sealed off. This tackle's rule is to pick. So he steps and hinges inside and he B-gap picks. This back now will cheat his alignment a little bit. He'll cheat his alignment. Instead of being out here behind the feet, instead of lining behind the feet of the tackle, now he'll line up kind of in the gap. That's probably the only thing that tips a little bit is our alignment there. And then the next thing is when the ball snapped, he's rolling slightly downhill, and that angle's a little bit different. He's right here, at that A-gap or at that hip of the center. When the quarterback catches that ball, he's reaching the ball to, when we review the tape, you'll see the tape, but he's reaching the ball to that F-back. And that F-back's trying to hit this crease. I've seen that trap cut. If this guy did that, I've seen that cut back there. I've seen it hit there. If this guy wrong shoulders, of course, we log here. I've seen it bounce there, but I've seen it hit in all areas right there. Now, of course, if we were having the end come hard and all that, then I'll show you what we do next. We'll do another trap scheme. But basically, the wideouts are cutting off inside, and that's the veer trap. Our next scheme is the shotgun trap scheme. It's the even influence trap. Our play side tackle is going to apex to the first backer inside. A lot of people ask me why do I call that apex. Here's what it means. I tell the kids from day one that there is a line to a point to where the ball is going to hit. And that is called an apex line. And I want you to run through a hip because most of the people we play are penetrators. And if we're running the trap, I said earlier, we run the trap to slow down the rush. We're not going to run the trap if the guys are reading defensive football team. If they're a reading defensive football team and they're not doing anything up the field, we're not going to run the trap. So the way we slow down the rush is if we get a team that's up the field charge, then we need to make sure we're stepping with our inside foot and we're going through the hip tight to the apex line to seal the backers. We tell the back on this, because I've got him slightly wide there. We kind of line up a little inside of that tackle in that gap, and we tell that back that we're going to get our hat on the inside of that linebacker, and we're going for the inside. So if we miss, the back's going to make us right, but we're going to miss inside. We're not going to tell the tackle, because a lot of times we'll make a mistake here at these spots going for the apex because we'll slow down to try to get on the linebacker instead of just go to the line and then adjust. So we say go to the line and adjust on a backer. So if the backer's hanging here, you go in at an angle, then you go get up on the inside leg. And that's what we want. We want them to attack that going. We make more mistakes if we shut the motor down and try to position the linebacker because the back is going at that angle. The linebackers are going to come back to that angle. All right, so that's the apex line that we're talking about. That's why their rule is apex. Again, if we're going to run the influence trap, so play side tackle, apex, first backer, backside tackle, apex, backside backer. All right, we're doing it with 6 in a box. Play side guard, influence outside, block C-gap, first thing off the defender of the outside hip of the tackle. So he's going to use an influence technique. We have done both. We've done a pass influence and we've done a pull influence. The reason we like to do the pull influence is this whole play originated off our zone series. Our zone series was the same thing. So when we ran our zone scheme, we were always down blocking and we were pulling this guy when we had a tight end here. So we have our tight end outside release for the next backer, and we would pull and run the influence trap, and it started off looking like the zone. It looked just like the zone to the linebackers. So that's why we do it with a lot of times we do the influence with a guard pulling. The next thing is center's blocking back in the A-gap. He secures the backside A-gap. Guard opens, second foot pounds, good open step with his right leg. Right step, opens the hip to a 45, second foot, pound down quick, and he's on the track path to dig that guy. Now, we tell that guard he's trapping, as we see on the rules here, we say we're trapping the A-gap area. And I'm going to show you why in a minute. We say the backside guard, you're trapping the first man in the A-gap. And then apex, we see right here, apex to tackle the backside linebacker. Now, watch what I mean by this. This is what apex blocking first thing in that gap means. If I was at tackle and I was stepping right there and this guy slammed right on my face, I'd collect him. If that guy, right before the snap, was to come down and he was blitzing that gap, if I was a guard, I'd collect him. If I was this tackle right here on the apex and this tackle, he went right there wide, I cut him off. I might cut him off, he might run himself out of play, and then the center, he feels that, he climbs. I mean, you can't get locked into a thing where you just say, hey, you got that guy, you got that guy. Basically, it's a system where we block gaps. So when somebody asks me what we really block, here's what it looks like. He blocks the B gap, he blocks the B gap, he blocks the C gap, he blocks the A gap, he blocks the A gap. It's gap blocking. We do drills for them when we run this trap scheme, slant guys in the gap, so they get on tracks and they understand where they're at. Shotgun trap scheme versus an odd defense. All right, first of all, what's an odd defense for us? An odd defense is a defensive structure that the guards are uncovered. And we consider an odd defense, we consider that a 3-4 scheme. 3 down linemen, 3 down, 4 backers. That's what an odd is. So when we call even, basically in our defensive structure, guards covered, that gives our players, they block their even rules. We call odd, they block their odd rules. So when the center makes that call for us, and that's who makes the call even or odd for us, it tells us our blocking rules. Play side tackle, we use an influence block. We'll go to trapping now, the first man over the tackle. So he's going to influence block this, I'm going to move that up a little bit so we can see it better. He's going to influence block first backer. So what we'll do is we'll do a quick set. We really won't drop deep or anything like that. We'll just flash, and then we'll go on an apex line to the play side linebacker. We tell him to go on apex line to the play side backer, flash. So he sets, well, he's going to be in a right-handed stance on that side. So that's, his feet are going to look like that. So he flashes, gets a quick flash, high flash, and then he goes on this line to this linebacker. Of course, if for some reason the end was to come hard underneath, he'd have to collect him. But if he climbs free, then what he wants to do is he wants to fit the linebacker. We tell him fit the linebacker on the play side half and try to pin the linebacker. The reason we want to pin the linebacker is because we feel like, for example, if this guy's dropping off in a 4-wide offense, he's probably loose or whatever, then what we feel like we're doing, we're going to combo or PD this guy, this nose guard to the backside linebacker. And again, we're doing a offensive line drill tape running game, shotgun running game, and I cover the PDs and I cover the combo blocks and how we teach those. But this right here, just reviewing this again, this center, he's got to protect this backside A gap. When he snaps the ball, he's going to drop step with that left foot. He's going to pound with that right foot right here, and he's going to press this backside half, and he's responsible for the A gap. He's responsible for plug. He's responsible for slant there. This guard's going to zone to the hip, and he's going to press this point, and they're going to try to knock that guy back to the feet of the linebacker. Won't have a lot of time on this play, so they probably won't be on it as long. If the nose slants, he'll declare where he's going, so they'll block it as gap. Guard, now, the off guard, again, he'll be in a left-handed stance, he'll open step, and he'll pound the second step, and he'll be on his angle to trap the first thing off the hip of the tackle. Backside tackle will make an odd call. His rule is B gap collect. So he's going to collect the B gap cutoff. He's going to collect that. Then if there's no threat, he can pick. Here's what I mean by that. Outside backer walks here in the hip line. B gap pick. So he goes hard that way. He steps here. There's no threat, no backer coming, nothing coming there. Then he can pick back out and he can help and get a piece of that. That's B-gap pick. Of course, the fullback is going to line up in the gap. He's going to be running to the brown spot, the outside play side cheek of the center. The quarterback gets the ball. When he gets it, he reaches the ball to him and then boots out. That's trap versus an odd scheme. So reviewing that again, play side tackles got influence block on first backer inside. Play side guards got block, post drive nose to backside linebacker A gap. Center's got post drive nose to backside A gap. Backside guards trap, pull, and block first defender off tackle's hip. Backside tackles got B gap pick or cutoff. Now let's review the tape. Well, here's the trap scheme. All right, here we're in Liz formation. We're in Liz formation. Got a back here. Normally, as a base rule, we'll always try to trap the 3 technique. That's our base rule, and we want to trap the 3 technique. Now, Florida State's a team that we probably through the years have trapped consistently because they're so up the field on their rush. And if we don't do that, we'd have no chance to blocking them. They're playing here, you can see, they're playing let me run this back. They're playing a wide 3 technique. I kind of mentioned that earlier, a 2-eye with a wide 3 technique. Now the advantage here, we got an umbrella defense. We've gone Rip and Liz, which is 4 wides for us, and we've gotten them to walk Sam and Will out, and they're playing an umbrella. So they've given us, I said as the early lecture I talked about, number 1, slow the rush down. If they try to defend the pass and give us the numbers to run the ball inside, we're going to run the trap. And here's why we're running the trap. All right, so if we're going to run the veer trap, then we got him blocking first backer backside. And see, this is good by this kid. He has some awareness to understand that they're bringing this guy in prior to the snap. I guess we knew it by game plan or what, but he does a good job of staying backside to block his linebacker. He's the apex on his linebacker. And you see that he tries to go to the inside half. Okay, he gets he's a little too high. He didn't get a nice kick, but we do have a crease. We have a crease in there, and here's our back. And then watch how he forces the inside. Now, the back, as a rule, would have gone, boom, knowing that we're going to go to the inside, he would hit that pipe. I would say right here the back would be wrong by staying on that track. He should cut right now because he knows where we're going. Backside tackle should be gap hinge or be gap pick. All right, so he picks back because he has no threat here. If this linebacker would have kept coming in that B gap, that would have been his responsibility. With this center we have here, this is a small guy, 255-pound guy. You're going to see him on another tape that we're doing. He's going to do some drills for us developing the shotgun center. He's about 5'10 and a half, 250. I wouldn't run the trap to that A gap with a tight shade. I would only run it where because when you shotgun snap, you can't really depend on him getting a lot of movement. Biggest thing you want him to do is just hold the point. Don't get knocked back. All right, this is an odd structure defense. We're in Liz again. And this would probably be an odd stack structure. So if it's odd stack, I'll go over the rules for odd stack. It's a little different, but it's not really much difference to it. It's the same as odd. Let's just kind of review them. The difference is on an odd structure defense, if it's odd stack, this tackle has to block the first backer over the stack. They have to combo to the first stack. He has to protect the B gap in case they bring that guy through there. He's a B gap pick guy. He's going to pull and he's going to dig him. Now, if he tries to wrong shoulder or squeeze it, then he'll log him and then the ball could bounce. Like right here, this tackle should not drop his head. That is correct. On an odd, let me tell you, that's one other thing. On an odd stack, this tackle thinks the ball's coming inside of him, so he's going to try to always be, his hat's going to be on the inside of the linebacker. It's very unusual that the ball bounces on a non-stack. I mean, this guy right here squeezed it and the back bounced it. But as a rule, we're thinking it's going to be coming in that crease there. And so this guard will be kicking, this tackle will be inside, and we're thinking it may come in that crease. Just doesn't happen that way this time. All right, now we got an even structure defense. If you look to the sideline, this is doing another tape on developing the no huddle offense with coach's choice. This is one of the things we'll talk about it later on in the videos, is how we look to the sideline and we get our play and everybody understands what we're doing with the signaling procedure and how we do it. But here's an even structure, and now we got the 3 technique. Looks like we got him over here. So let's see what we do. We're going to probably walk the back over. We've changed the play, and now what we're going to do is we're going to run the trap over here, and we're going to run the gap or the influence. Okay, we decided we're running the gap. We're running the gap scheme this week. So we run the gap scheme, and here it is. The guard's inside. We get a hard pinch, and now this guard does a good job of taking the first thing off the hip, and there he is. He traps the end now. Tackle is on the apex line to pin, and now we hit the seam there, and we're off to the races. Again, we talked about blocking gaps. If you run the veer trap, then this guard right here is responsible for the A gap. This center is responsible for the backside A gap. This tackle's a B gap pit guy. This tackle's responsible for the B gap, and this guard's responsible for the first thing off the hip. There it is. Again, watch the back. I talked to you a little bit about the back's going to cheat to the gap. That's what he's going to do. He's going to cheapen the gap area, and watch how he's downhill, and the quarterback has to reach the ball to him. Now we're going to run the trap scheme. You can see us looking to the sideline to see if the play's adequate to run. Make sure we run it to the side that we want to run it to. All right, we're in 4 wide. We're in rip offense. We've got an A-gap player here, so my bet is we're going to run the veer trap since we've got a guy in the A-gap. Now the A-gap's not open. We may have a wide guy here, so we think we can defend. We can probably get the veer trap. If I remember correctly, Tennessee was a very much aggressive up front team, really pressing the points. They got an umbrella secondary, so we feel like we could probably get this. If we run the veer trap, of course, this guard is going to the inside leg there. This tackle's inside apex. This center's blocking back. This guard's digging him out first thing off the hip. This tackle's B-gap hinge, and the back, of course, is downhill. Back may be a little cheated too much. And a lot of that comes down to the personnel of this. This guy was a tailback, fullback type guy, so he may have, Coach Burns, our running back coach, may have let him cheat a little bit just to make sure he got there on time. Burton Burns is a running back coach. If you got any questions about that, you can contact him. This is actually Dwayne, so he may have cheated him as he did. I thought this was the other back. But here's the veer. You can see it. This guy's up the field. He's not defending the trap at all. He's playing pass all the way. If you look at this guard, he's coming. He's getting a nice clean kick. I mean, I hope my tackle right here is going to get his hat on the inside. He doesn't get his hat on the inside. He doesn't do a good job. He's going to the line. He doesn't get there. He presses him, and the back makes him right. It's a hell of a cut by our back. This linebacker right here, this guard right here is going for the cut. He just misses the cut. This is a great job by Dwayne. But you can run this play when you're not getting anything out of this end to defend the trap. I mean, this is a good scheme, and they've got 6, and we've only got 5 blockers. and we're just blocking 5, and we're creating problems because they're not getting the ball bounced. Now we've gone to a different formation. This is Rio formation. We're playing more of a man-free concept, it looks like in the secondary. This is the 3 backers, or a 4-3 type concept. It looks like they're going to some type of thirds or quarters. Now we may be checking to the trap. They've gone to 2-1s. Now they're going back to a 3. Probably trying to stop us from running the trap. We don't like to run it versus 2-1s. And if we had the veer trap called and we run it versus 2-1s, we'd go ahead and pin that guy and trap the next guy. So, but everything worked out because the guard went on his track to the backside linebacker. The tackle went on his track to this guy. And see how the tackle this time really overemphasized getting inside the linebacker? He misses the block, but watch how the back came with him this time. A while ago I talked about I didn't like the back because the back didn't stay with him. Looks like our backs learned the lesson from the earlier game of understanding where he fits and where he fits. Guys have got to be tied together. They got to understand where the other guy's trying to block the guy. We're not good enough athletes up front to go block a linebacker in space and to cover him, and not, if we're going to go full speed on the apex, we got to be telling these kids, these young men, where to go. So if that linebacker jumps that way, you're not wrong for going full speed on the apex. The thing I love about this play is what this back does. He sets everything up. He sets everything up. He does everything he's coached to do right here. You can see everything come together as a group right here. Blocks back, apex line there, a good kick, big gap pick, quarterback boot out, and there he is. He sets everything up. All right, now we're going to run a little trap versus an odd scheme. It looks like it's an odd right now. It may check to even. They're walking the linebacker out. It's obvious they're not defending anything in the box for the run. They're defending the pass. I mentioned that earlier. It's all about numbers and angles. If they're not going to give you if they don't give you the running game inside, they still do it even. So it's obvious they don't have enough people. Then you got to take the trap. You got to run the trap. All right, they walk the safety down to get a linebacker. That's better. And they're trying to play with 1, 2, 3, 4 in the box, and maybe the safety coming down as the other guy, but they're still 4.5 at the best. All right, so watch us run our tracks. Okay, we counted this guy as a linebacker. It's a good job by this kid. We ran the veer trap, this right guard. You see how he goes on his track? He goes and he gets the backside linebacker. He tries to get on him, but he doesn't cover him very well. All right, I like what our tackle does because he releases and he understands to get his hat on the inside of this linebacker. Our guard don't even have to block the 3 technique. He's running up the field all day long. Our center's blocking back. And our backside tackle's B-gap picking. I wish he'd just get back out quicker. He's staying in there a little too long on that B-gap pick. All he's got to do is hinge, slam with his right arm, and then pick out. He can help Charlie out there. Even though this guy is playing the quarterback, when we boot back, he can just take some pressure off of Charlie. Our wideout recognizes this guy go inside, cut. Now he should go to safety. This wideout's got to get his butt inside, get on that guy. If for some reason he can't get that when he goes to the next level, he gets that when he goes to that level. But everybody's got somebody to block. And the thing about this is beautiful. It's a play we ran in the red zone, and it's a touchdown. And it's a big play in the ball game. Helps us win the ball game. This is the guy that I said earlier was a fullback, tailback, and I thought he probably over-cheated his alignment. But it looks like Coach Burton Burns may have adjusted these guys for the Peach Bowl. We did a real good job running the trap, and he may have thought we were going to get a lot of penetration, and we were going to try to get underneath that tight, but that's fine. We've adjusted him. We moved him a little bit. Normally we would line up on this foot, on that foot. We're kind of lining up inside a little bit here. This is what I was talking about by this 70, William Henry. Big gap pick, he needs to get back out. Tommy Sharp, 53, is going to block that guy. All we need for you to do is hand help. Hinge in there, big gap slam, and then pick out with your outside hinge so you can maybe get a little bit take some pressure off of the quarterback right here. Nice play. All right, we'll look at this again. See if we're running the veer or we may be running the influence now. All right, now we're in influence structure. All right, we're in Liz Max. We got Liz Max, two backs. We've got an umbrella defense, two deep safeties, kind of playing a stack front and walk Sam out. So they got 6 basically in the box, or really 5.5 because this guy's playing outside the tackle or the 3 technique, and so we can run the trap all day long. Should be a great play. Again, this is Florida State. They've given us, through the years, giving us the trap. All right, so he's head up. So it looks like we got a great trap angle. We got a shade or a 2-eye here, so Kyle Young is going to snap it, center, block back. Will Merritt pull and dig. T.J. Watkins will pull. We'll get an influence. Let's see if we're running the influence. Yeah, we ran the influence because we've always run the zone against Florida State, and so we'll pull to try to stretch that guy. And it makes, hopefully, that backer and that tackle will think zone. Okay, and then this tackle's now on the apex. I do not like our tackle. This would be an MA, a technique MA by him. He should be on the apex line. He should never go right there. He should be on the apex line right there to the inside knee, and he should be on the apex line. This is not the correct path. That would be a technique minus assignment. He's going to the right guy, but the angle to the guy is terrible. This is actually better by Brantley, 71, going on the angle, but the mistake that Brantley's going to make is he stops to gather, and this guy probably crosses his face. There it is. Brantley's got to get to this inside thigh pad, right there, inside thigh pad. Come get it. This is an even structure defense. Got an umbrella secondary again, so the trap should be there all day long. We're in rip max. Probably going to run the trap to the right, be 30 for us. We'll probably wind up using our influence scheme. There's our influence scheme. Let's hope we do a better job getting on these linebackers. That's a better job by our left tackle. That's what it's supposed to look like. That's nice. Because what I want him to do is get inside, and the back will make you right. See, and he throws to the inside thigh pad, and that back right here makes him look like a great player, and more than anything, the back's making him right. That's the way it's supposed to look like. Let's look at it from the end zone. All right, so you got an even structure. Kyle's going to make an even call. He's going to block back, secure the A-gap. Will's going to pull. The right guard's going to pull and dig. The tackle, Brantley's going to apex through the hip. He should get to the inside thigh pad of the 44, the linebacker. He's got first backer apex. He's got backside backer apex. He's got play side. Gary Bird's coming hard through the apex line. He should get inside on that thigh. And, of course, he's got C-gap. Will's got C-gap. T.J. Watkins has got to pull and dig the first thing off the hip of the guard. Or he's got first thing off the tackle. Basically what it amounts to. First man. Boom. He slants in the A-gap. It's the mistake he makes, the defensive guy makes, he doesn't wrong shoulder it, so TJ does a good job of digging him out and runs him up the field. You get a great picture here of Bernard Rambert on the original alignment that I kind of talked about that we used to run. Bernard is his foot's now out here. See, so he's wider than where he was lined a while ago. So he's got that foot right there on that tackle, that outside foot. So he's a little bit wider than where Chad was in the Peach Bowl that year. Here's Woody at quarterback. So you can see Woody, there's a little bit of a bad snap here, but Woody does a good job handling the ball. And watch how he reaches the ball to Bernard. Bernard hits the spot, and Bernard makes him right. Now, see, Gary really doesn't even block this linebacker, but he throws, and that linebacker just doesn't have time to make the play. Well, he does. I'm sorry, he does make the play. But if Gary gets that clean, it's going to be better, but he doesn't get it clean. But, again, if he gets anything out of it at all, it's going to hit right there. All right, now we're in Liz formation. We've got an even structure defense, again, we've got high safeties. We're going to trap right here to 3 technique. We're going to mow across, sometimes by mowing the trips and bringing this guy over, we widen this backer, which if we can widen that backer, we're going to help that tackle make that block. That's what we were hoping to get, and we didn't get it. We did not get that. We widened this guy, but we didn't widen that guy. Some great cut by the back, again, so it gives you a good look of it. We're going to run the influence trap. He's going to pull. He's going to block in. He's coming here. He's pulling there and digging, and the center's blocking back. It's a better job by Keel trying to get inside. At least he tries to get inside. He's on the linebacker. He covers him. Back does a good job of running that crease and then hitting it all the way back off the tackle's hip. This is going to be 2,000, and we're going to run the trap, and you're going to see some odd schemes, and we may run some trap quarterback, which is what I want to see. I want to get some of that on here for you. All right. Run the trap right here. This tackle, this is tough. This tackle, I said, if he has an inside guy come, he's got to take it. Guard's got to take first thing off his hip. He winds up knocking the tackle off of it. This tackle right here is sifting through. This is when we had on a stack rule, he would sift for the most dangerous guy, but really you ought to B-gap pick that. That's better than sifting it. This is back in 2000. Combo in here to the backside linebacker. So he should B-gap pick. He would be wrong. We would be better off B-gap picking. We're in Leo formation. We're going to run the influence trap. There's a pull. Guard pulls, widens the 3 a little bit. We used to tell the backside guard, when you pull, if for some reason the guard, the 3 technique just runs wide, you can just go back up the field and get back on the path. Don't follow the 3 all the way out, and that's what the right guard's actually doing. Backside tackle in the apex, he's got to get that backer. He's got to bust. He should be on this backer. He's confused on which one he's got. He's always backside tackle's got the first backer backside. Watch it from the end zone here. See, he's confused. His rule's first backer backside. There he is. Again, we're trapping the 3. He needs to make sure he gets inside on that linebacker, force it to the inside. He's inside better this time. He walls off the 2-eye backside. He does a good job. Kyle does a good job there. Good, nice snap. Nice zip on the snap. Guard digs the 3 out, and we got something going. Travis is up the field running. back in 2000, if you got a quarterback that can run, then you can run our trap scheme. We have one more that I hadn't kind of talked about. We have where we pull the center and we trap the 5 technique weak. And I'll just kind of go over that right now because this is good. This is trap quarterback. We're in Rio formation. They basically walked up and played zero coverage. They've got a lot of guys defending the run there, and we still run the football. And here's how we do that scheme. Earlier we talked about the counter scheme and the center pulling on the counter scheme. It's the same thing. Basically, what we do is if we want to run, if we had trap called strong here, and we had the A-gap guy walked up, and our quarterback can run, then a lot of times what we'll do is we'll come back and change the play back over here to the weak side and run to the bubble. And all we got to do is, if we do that, is basically get these 2 guys right here on these 2. They got to shoot for those 2, block him down, let him take the most dangerous of these 2. So if there's somebody in the B gap, he'll take the B gap. If nobody in the B gap, he's going to take the man on, and then the center's going to pull and trap the first thing off the hip. So here's an example. This guy's in the B gap, he's going to take it. He's going to take that guy in the A gap. These 2 guys are going to cut off the backside, just cut them off. Travis, the tailback, is going to take the first thing off the hip of the tackle, should cut it. There it is. Center Kyle's going to pull. Let's see how he pulls. Let's watch his pull technique. Should step with his right foot first. Boom, there he goes. Look at it, just like clockwork. Snap and step with his right foot, open, and now dig. He's got a dig pull. Woody rides, he's off to the races. Got a nice play. And the good thing about that play is, if you'll see what we've got zero coverage. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up there defending the run on 5. It's trap quarterback again. It's basically the influence scheme weak. It's an even structure, and so where he's got it's blocked just like the odd. All it is it's just like the odd scheme. He's going to influence this 5, this left tackle. He's going to try to pin this linebacker. He's going to treat him like a nose, and he's going to block down on the 2-eye, and he's going to block man on and block him down inside. He's going to pull and dig. They're going to shoot these 2. Tailback's going to go downhill, fake the trap, and block the first thing off